There are a plethora of new PlayStation 4 physical game deals available right now with a new week, so I wanted to highlight a bunch of different deals. I believe we have a total of 10 deals across a variety of different retailers, all online purchases. However, these deals are really good. I know some of you guys prefer digital games, I know some of you guys prefer physical games. I try to do my best to cover both sides of the spectrum, so this video is going to be specifically on physical games, and without further ado, let's get right into it. And I am going to kick things off by looking at some great deals available on Amazon right now, and there's quite a few good ones. First of all, Metro Exodus Aurora Limited Edition is down to $39.99. Now, this includes the base Metro Exodus game, which typically now goes for around $30 on sale, but on top of that, you get the Metro Exodus dynamic theme, you get the Steelbook, an art book, and access to the expansion pass, so that is the big deal. You'll get the expansions to Metro Exodus as well, and there are two separate expansions, so that's going to add even more longevity to your game. Metro Exodus itself, I was a little bit critical of this game, saying that I don't think the game is quite as good as 2033 or Last Light, but really that's not saying much given that I thought very highly of 2033 and Last Light. Me saying that Exodus is number 3 in the series doesn't really say anything negative about the game. The game itself is still very good. Visually, it's stunning, gameplay is solid, and you do have a little bit more open level design, and the storytelling is on point as well. $40 for the Aurora Limited Edition I think is great, and by the way, you do also get a metal case in the Creatures of Metro Exodus poster, so it's a lot of extra stuff on top of the base game, and if you're essentially looking at it as paying $10 extra on top of the base game, while just getting the expansion pass, so more than covers that, and then you get a cool Steelbook, you get a metal outer case, and you get the art book. A lot of cool stuff here, and for $40, it's a great buy available directly on Amazon. Alright, next up, you guys know I'm a big fan of Japanese RPGs, and one that I always go to bat for a series is, of course, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. The first game, the Decisive edition of that, is down to $34.99 over on Amazon. Now, this also includes a Steelbook, you get the first game, and you get a couple of songs on the soundtrack CD. This game is such an awesome Japanese RPG, and it really kicks off the entirety of the Trails of Cold Steel series. Although there have been a plethora of other Legend of Heroes titles in the past, you can start your journey with Trails of Cold Steel and then work your way up to Trails of Cold Steel 2, and then of course Trails of Cold Steel 3 is due out in October, I think October 22nd to be exact. This one starts off a little bit slow because it really tries to introduce you to all of the different characters, tries to give a decent amount of character development as well, and make you engage to all of the characters, so you don't really get going until maybe the midway point of this game, but after you hit that midway point, it gets really freaking good, and then that just parlays into the second game, and it is just guns blazing from there on out. Now, you can get the second game right away, and you can watch a recap video, but really, I've always said a 7-minute recap video is only going to do so much versus playing a 50-hour RPG, and it is way longer than 50 hours if you want to do everything. It's a very lengthy game. $35 for it is really good, especially given the fact that the price has been holding up for quite a while. Next up, we've got Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. This is 50% off, down from $60 to $30. For quite a while, this was holding up in price given that it is a Bandai Namco published title, and those games, generally speaking, just do hold up in price a little bit longer than every other game. Ace Combat 7 now finally trickling down in price, and for $30, it is a great buy. The unfortunate story with this game is that Ace Combat 7 was released right before Kingdom Hearts 3, as well as the Resident Evil 2 remake, and going against those two games, I mean, Ace Combat has been around for quite a while, but it doesn't have the lineage that a Kingdom Hearts or a Resident Evil has, so it kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. However, it turned out to be a great game. If you want a quality action flight game with some great music, some great visual effects as well, Ace Combat 7 is absolutely going to offer that, and for $30, I think it's a great buy. Alright, next up, also available on Amazon, here is an awesome deal. The Shadow of the Tomb Raider Croft Steelbook Edition is down to just $20. That is just insane. Now, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is a game that I was relatively critical about, given that I don't think the game is quite as good as Rise of the Tomb Raider. However, it's still a very good game, and I would put it above the 2013 title, and from a gameplay standpoint, I do think it's better than Rise of the Tomb Raider. I just think the story leaves a lot to be desired. The Shadow of the Tomb Raider Croft Steelbook Edition includes a limited edition steelbook, 3 art cards, and the season pass featuring 7 challenge tombs, each with new narrative side missions, as well as 7 weapons, 7 outfits, and 7 skills. All of that additional content makes for a sizable extension to the Shadow of the Tomb Raider experience, and given that the base game for $20 I would already say is a great buy to get the entire experience, the Steelbook and all that good stuff for 20 bucks, that is just an awesome deal. And lastly, as far as the Amazon deals are concerned, I do want to give a shout to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. That is 25% off for $30. This game has been kind of holding up at that $30 price point, obviously released at $40 back in June, but this is a great game. If you're into Castlevania games, Metroidvania experiences, this is going to be right up your alley. And of course, you have Igarashi working on the game, so you get that Castlevania gameplay in there. It's a gothic horror action side-scrolling RPG set in 9th century England. A paranormal force has summoned a demon-infested castle, revealing crystal shards infused with tremendous magical power. You play as Miriam, an orphan scarred by an alchemist curse which slowly crystallizes her body, and you go from the game there on out. $30 is still kind of expensive, but it is absolutely worth that price. Alright, next up, I do want to mention an absolutely awesome deal that's available at GameStop right now. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the Royal Edition, is down to just $19.99. What an absurd deal for this. Of course, this includes the base Kingdom Come Deliverance game on top of all of the DLC being included. Absolutely insane value. The base game is already really good. I know it had some issues at launch, but a lot of those issues have been remedied, and then you add in the extra content that the Royal Edition offers, you are getting a very robust RPG experience, and everything that this game has to offer for $19.99, that is a stellar pickup. Yes, it is a little bit hardcore, it's a little bit more challenging, but overall it has a lot to like, and at $19.99 you're getting north of 100 hours of gameplay easy, so it's easily worth a buy and a recommendation from me. Alright, lastly, I do want to mention 4 deals available over on Best Buy right now. Quite good deals. Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age is holding up in price, but it's down to $29.99 on Best Buy. I thought this was a tremendous JRPG. Yes, it does stick to JRPG roots in that it is a turn-based game. That's something that I definitely appreciate. We've got franchises like Final Fantasy that are shaking things up with every entry. Let Square Enix have another franchise that kind of sticks to its roots with every outing, and that's what we have with Dragon Quest. With Dragon Quest XI, they do modernize the game a little bit. The visuals look fantastic. The story is great, and you've got quite a bit of character development across every single character, and the story itself is just pretty good. Art style is fantastic, and again, that turn-based JRPG gameplay is just done pretty well. For $30, if you're looking for a quality and lengthy JRPG, Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age is absolutely gonna offer that. Alright, next up, Nier Automata Game of the YoRHa Edition is down to $24.99. This was released at $39.99, and the great thing about this release wasn't necessarily that we were getting some sort of robust Nier Automata version that included so much additional content. Really, the biggest factor was the fact that Nier Automata was seeing an MSRP drop. The game was holding up at that $59.99 price point for so long that the fact that the Game of the YoRHa Edition was announced to be released at $40, that was enough for me. Even though the extensions here, you just get some in-game items, you get some avatars, I think a theme is in there as well. It's nothing too major. However, the game being cheaper, those extra goodies, I mean, they're nice to have. And now that the game is on sale for $25, if you've yet to check out Nier Automata, do yourself a favor and buy this game. It's a fantastic action RPG with some very stylish combat. It's coming from Platinum Games, so you know what to expect on that end. And the game itself is just so slick in presentation. The story is a little muddied for a little while, but if you complete the game and you complete it consecutive times as is suggested, the story really starts to come together across all of the different characters and all of the narrative pathways. It's a great game. $25 is a fantastic buy. Okay, speaking of JRPGs, also want to give a shout to Kingdom Hearts 3. That is down to $24.99, which is a pretty good buy for Kingdom Hearts 3, given that it's still relatively recent in release. It came out, what, just 8 months ago. It is a really good JRPG, although I would recommend you to get the Kingdom Hearts Complete Collection. That includes 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 to get yourself invested into the franchise. They do have a recap video here, and that'll get you at least somewhat up to speed with Kingdom Hearts, but Kingdom Hearts having such a lengthy narrative and such a storied narrative that yes, a video recapping the entire series is only going to do so much, but the gameplay here is really strong. There is some DLC coming out, and I do imagine that Square Enix, much like Final Fantasy 15, they are going to release some sort of complete edition. I believe Final Fantasy 15 got the Royal Edition as well, so kind of funny that Kingdom Come Deliverance and FF15 got what was called a Royal Edition with all the extra content. Nonetheless, just something funny to note. Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm sure we'll be getting some sort of version like that in the future after the DLC is out. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, whatever the case may be. If you've been eager to play for $25, I do think it's a great buy. And lastly, I do want to give a shout to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is $40 off to $19.99. Now, this was a game that I had some criticism towards. I wasn't a big fan of how grindy it was and how many of the side quests you have to do to progress through the main story. There's really no way you can just go through the main story and bum rush through it if you want to play it that way. Yes, it has this expansive world, and if you want to get invested into an open world game, you can absolutely do that. However, for my taste, wanting to play so many games, I would have loved to just go through AC Odyssey naturally and not spend so much time with the side content. You can do that if you buy a double XP boost as microtransactions, so obviously Ubisoft knows that that is an element of the game that some people are gonna want to bypass, but they're putting it behind a paywall of $9.99, so that's a bummer for me. However, I would be foolish in saying that the game isn't well made, that it isn't well crafted, because it absolutely is. The open world is stunning. It's just that one gameplay element turned me off a little bit. However, for a lot of you guys, I think you'll be all over, you know, sinking 60 to 70 hours in this game with all of the additional content and whatever the case may be on that. There's also a gold edition available. I think Best Buy has that for like $60, which isn't a great buy since digitally that's been as low as like 40 bucks. Includes a lot of additional content, so if you're okay with a digital pickup, that is the version of the game I would really recommend, because you get AC3 Remastered, you get so much additional content. Definitely worth the extra money that you're paying for that, but the base game for 20 bucks I think is also pretty good. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, some great PlayStation 4 game deals available right now on the physical end. I know some of you guys just like to get physical games, so I'm trying to keep up to date with that. For those of you guys that like digital sales, I believe the PlayStation Big in Japan sale is going on, the Platinum Weekend sale is going on for Plus subscribers. A lot of good stuff, a lot of great games getting discounted heavily, while so many are focused on the new games coming out that are $59.99 a pop. Maybe going back and playing a Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition isn't a bad idea, or a Shadow of the Tomb Raider Croft Edition for 20 bucks. These are really good deals for really great games. So that's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.